Ironic, isn't it? We're both in the same boat. Me and David Hughes. I think I now know how he felt.
Look, you're a fool if you try and protect him after what he did.
I'm not trying to protect him. I don't want to go behind the kids' backs.
Do they know he's here?
What? They know, all right. They've known these past 2 weeks. It was them that took him to the mill.
Oh, so that's what Mark was up to.
How do you mean?
Well, I caught him at the mill the other night. I thought he had a girlfriend or something.
Silly little beggar. I thought they trusted me, Jack.
Go to the police, Joe. You owe Hughes no favours.
I don't know. Maybe deep down he'll be relieved if they copped him.
Well, perhaps he just needs a bit of persuasion to give himself up. Maybe from Rachel or Mark. That way you couldn't be accused of going behind their backs.
Yeah, I'd never thought of that. Yeah, I'll put it to them. See what they say. What do you think?
Well, I think you should help me finish the milking first.
I better catch them now before they go.
Hey, we've got a farm to run, you know.
No, I appreciate this, Jack. You know that. I really do appreciate it.
Morning.
Hiya.
Hey, you should have come to the concert last night. It was a real laugh.
Where's Ma?
She's out bidding the geese. Yeah, Mark's right. It was brilliant. Kathy stole the show.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't have been hard, would it? What about Seth? Charmaine,
It'd be better if he'd put his teeth in.
I don't know.
You know, I bumped into your dad. Why didn't you tell me he was here?
We've been doing a test squirt of the milk before putting the clusters on.
No, should I?
I thought I told you you should.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I did.
And I'm sure you didn't. What's the matter?
Mastitis.
How do you know?
Look, the milk's clotted. You should always check before putting the clusters on.
Well, I didn't know. You should have told me what to look for.
Everything's being left to me around here these days.
Oh, well, thanks, Jack. It's all my fault, then.
I'll have to go and ring the vet, and that's all we blasted well need.
Does anyone else know?
No.
Just us and now you.
Well, that's something, I suppose. If there's one thing I've tried to impress upon you both is that you can trust me.
We just thought you'd be really angry.
The only thing I'm angry about is that you didn't tell me. Well, not really angry, more disappointed. I mean, 2 weeks, and not a dicky bird from either of you.
We're just scared about what might have happened.
Scared I might go to the police.
We thought you had enough to worry about.
Well, I can see you're in a difficult position. But why didn't you just tell me? The last thing I wanted you both to feel was that you had nobody to turn to, nobody to rely on.
I'm sorry, Joe.
What's going to happen?
Sit.
We're just this side of love.
Shut up, you idiot.
I can't get it out of my mind. You were great.
Wasn't that good?
I'm proud of you. You sang that song better than I imagined it ever could be sung.
It was only the village concert. I'm surprised you took it so seriously. Those musicians and all that gear you had your mate bringing.
Well, I was nervous. One of my more heartfelt lyrics being performed in public.
You never let on.
You know me, mystical. Look, I better get off. I'm going to be stuck in a meeting all day.
Yeah, OK.
Right, can you meet me in the Woolpack tonight about 7? I thought we might go on into Congleton, eat out.
You're trying to spoil me, aren't you?
Of course I am. Don't pretend you don't enjoy it.
No, I don't enjoy it. Come on.
Best thing he can do is go to the police, sort things out.
Why?
Because he can't go on like this, Mark. He's on the run. He can't settle down to a decent job. He can't afford somewhere decent to live. What's he going to do?
Who knows?
Have you thought about, well, persuading him to give himself up?
Of course not.
Might be the best thing. I mean, your father wasn't himself when he did what he did. They might go easy on him. No, as I see it, he ought to give himself up and get it all sorted out.
No one's going to pressurise me into doing what he doesn't want to do.
Of course not, Mark. But just think about it. Hey, that's all I'm asking. Just think about it. Doesn't have to be now, this very minute. Doesn't have to be at all if that's where you both want it. But just give it some thought, eh?
I think Joe's right.
When did you send off for these, then?
Oh, I popped into the estate agents last time I were in Otten.
Never said.
Very obliging.
You never told me.
I didn't think you were that bothered.
Oh, here we go again. Of course I'm bothered. I need to know what your plans for the Woolpack are.
Prices are steep. but no more than I'd anticipated. Unfortunately, none of 'em in immediate locality.
Does that mean you'll be looking further afield?
Except this one. This charmingly picturesque 19th century cottage is set in the heart of the Yorkshire Dales and is of quaint and homely proportions.
You don't think you're rushing into it a bit?
Well, I've never been one to procrastinate.
Oh, maybe not. But you've all the time in the world. I had hoped that we might have thought it through a bit more, together.
I don't know why you're getting so hot under the collar, Mr. Wilkes. You're talking as if I'd signed a contract. All I've done is get a few leaflets sent me through post.
Jack, you've got to come and help me.
Marvellous, isn't it? Vet can't get here till late this afternoon, if we're lucky.
Why do I get the feeling you're blaming me for this as well?
I'm sorry.
Look, I've done everything you told me. I'm not psychic. How was I supposed to know I was meant to be checking the milk?
I'm sorry. Truth is, you've been doing it all so well, I've been relying on you too much. Come on. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not your fault. Joe ought to be around a bit more.
Well, I tried telling him that this morning. As soon as I thought I was getting through to him, he was off again. This time it was David Hughes.
What's David Hughes got to do with it?
He's in Beckingdale.
What?
The kids have been hiding him out in the mill. Joe's just found out.
I don't believe it. What's Joe going to do?
Well, he saw Hughes last night, and now he actually feels sorry for him.
Oh, the man's a fool. He makes his own problems sometimes. I suppose this means he won't be doing any more farming until this is sorted out.
Yeah, well, put it this way. I won't be holding my breath waiting for him.
So what are we going to do about the cows?
Find out exactly which ones are infected and which aren't, and separate them.
Right.
You know, I've half a mind to phone the vet where Zoe Tate works. See if she can come over.
Well, why not?
Well, she knows what she's doing, does Zoe? It's not the first time that Goodwins have let us down. In fact, it might be an idea to transfer all our business to Zoe's practice.
Oughtn't you discuss it with Joe first?
Well, I would, if he was around for more than 3 minutes at a time.
What is this?
Collection box for Frank Tate Appreciation Fund.
I beg your pardon?
I thought locals might like to show their appreciation for his prompt and decisive action last week.
It's a bit excessive, isn't it? Any road, Frank Tate's got plenty of money of his own.
Mr. Tate saved whole village from potential destruction as well as saving my life. I would have thought a modest but tasteful gift would have been an appropriate gesture.
Well, I bet he'd rather have the money.
Oh, maybe he would, but he's not getting it. Right. I'll just ring up and make an appointment to see this cottage.
Hang on, Amos, hang on. What? Well, what do you mean, make an appointment to see this cottage? You said to me you were just at the looking at details stage.
There's not much point in looking at details if you're not serious about perusing property, now is there?
I wouldn't have thought there was much point in perusing a property, unless you were serious about buying it.
Well, I am serious, Mr. Wilkes, and sooner the better.
Thanks for coming out so quickly.
We aim to please. How come you didn't call Goodwin?
Well, he couldn't come out till later.
Oh, I see, so I'm second best, am I?
No, just more efficient.
Well, it's not too severe at all, actually.
What causes it?
Could be any one of a number of things, love.
Yeah, well, I don't mean to be rude, but there are signs that the udders are slightly damaged, so it's either inexperienced milking or somebody's been rushing it.
Yeah, well, that's probably a fair assessment.
You won't need anything more than the usual medication. Have you got any?
I should think so. Been quite busy lately, though. I better go and see.
Oh, well, I can give you some if you're out of it.
Thanks. But listen, Zoe, how do you fancy being our vet on a regular basis?
Of course, I'd like to.
Well, Goodwin's let us down once too often.
Is he serious?
Never more so.
Certainly, I'd be really happy to.
Right. I'll go and see if we've got any more of this stuff.
New client, that'll please the bosses.
Oh, it's not Jack's fault. This business. Since what happened to Kate, Joe's been obsessed with getting in touch with her. All the farm work's been left to Jack. And me, the inexperienced one.
Haven't they replaced Kathy?
No. We should be able to cope. But with Kate gone and now Joe, well, it's just too much. Jack's having to do it all. He's trying his best, but he's got to teach me as well.
Well, couldn't Jack get somebody in? Does he know anyone who could do it?
No. Do you?
Well, maybe. What about Archie?
Archie?
Whose car's that?
Zoe Tate.
What's she doing here?
She's in with the cows. We've a touch of mastitis.
Is it serious?
Not very.
Well, how come we got Zoe Tate? What's wrong with Goodwin?
He couldn't come out. Anyway, I've had enough with him. I've asked Zoe to take over for us instead.
You what? Without consulting me?
He's let us down once too often.
He's a good vet. He knows what he's doing.
So does Zoe.
Are you kidding? She's only a slip of a lass. She's wet behind the ears, Jack. She's inexperienced.
Who was it identified that cryptosporidium outbreak last year? She knows what she's doing, all right, and she's on the ball. Anyway, I've asked her now, and she's agreed.
Oh, flipping typical, that is.
I know you've had a lot on your mind, but then so have I. Running this farm practically single-handed. We've lost 3 days' milk. That's money we can't afford to lose. We can't go on like this, Joe.
Well, I'm not putting note in. He didn't rescue me.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Apple juice, please, Amos.
Hey, Archie. Seen that?
You're joking, aren't you, Amos? Nobody's going to put out in there. He's rich enough already, man.
The rich are entitled to our gratitude, same as anyone else. 60 pence, please.
Cheers.
Anyway, what are you all dressed up for?
Going to view a property.
Huh?
A cottage.
I'll do you a straight swap. My cottage for this pub. And I'll chuck our Megan for note as an incentive.
A retirement cottage.
Hey, Archie, while I think on, would you like to do a bit of beating? Up at Tate's for a shoot next Thursday?
Don't be ridiculous. I've got my principles.
Oh, I thought you would have. Did he say retirement cottage? He's retiring, him?
All right.
What, he's leaving pub? Is it serious?
You're getting to look like it.
He's selling up?
I don't know what he's doing, so don't ask me. He doesn't seem bothered about troubling me with his little plans. He doesn't seem to think I need to know. I'm just here to be taken for granted. Amos! Amos!
Yes, what?
You'll have to lock up. I'm going out.
But you can't go out. We've another 3/4 of an hour yet, and I have to get off to this viewing.
Ah, well, you're not the only one with folk to see.
But this is very sudden, Mr. Wilkes. Mr. Wilkes!
I've got something to tell you, man.
Kate?
I don't want you to upset yourself, but David Hughes is back.
So that's why Mark and Rachel have been behaving so oddly. As if you hadn't enough to worry about.
Yeah. Wish Jack felt the same. He had a go at me this morning.
Oh?
He says I'm leaving too much to him and Sarah. I mean, does he think I can just sit back and accept the fact that Kate won't see me or even speak to me? He knows I've been waiting for a phone call from her social worker this morning.
He understands.
Does he? Sometimes wonder.
Do you think he'd have worked as hard as he has if he didn't?
I don't know. He's even taken Zoe Tate on as a vet. Didn't ask me, just up and fixed it.
Is that a problem?
No, I suppose not. Oh, I can't really complain, the work he's been doing.
No, right enough. Might be as well if you said something to him.
I don't seem to find the right sort of words when it comes to thanking him.
Well, it wouldn't come amiss to try.
Only me.
Hello, Henry.
Well, I best get out there, make myself useful.
Did the social worker have anything fresh?
No, nothing. See you, Henry.
Here you go. Is the lad all right?
He's bearing up. You've timed it just right. Just going to put the kettle on.
Oh, smashing. Good. I was hoping for a little chat.
Dad? It's me. Hiya.
Oh, yeah. I saw Joe Sugden last night.
Yeah, I know, he said. I've got you some food.
Oh, thanks, lad. Just in time, eh? I was running out.
Look, Joe said he wasn't going to tell the police. As far as he was concerned, he hadn't seen you.
Yeah, he's a better bloke than I gave him credit for. I've been a bit of a fool, haven't I, Mark, lad? I'm in a right mess now.
He wanted us to try and persuade you to give yourself up.
Ah. And is that why you've come round here?
You can't go on like this, Dad. I mean, if Mum's not going to see Joe or us, well, there's no chance for you, is there?
And what does Rachel think?
She agrees with Joe.
See.
Joe said they might go easy on you. Acting out of character, something like that.
Do you think I should give myself up?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Oh, well, no. It's an option. As you say, I can't go on like this. I could always go back to Germany, of course. I mean, I can always get casual work there, but then I might never see you and Rachel again.
No.
Well, it's all gone through my mind sitting here, son. I mean, sometimes I wish they'd just find me and get it all over and done with.
Well, it's up to you.
Suppose it would be the sensible thing, eh? Turn myself into the police.
I suppose so.
Yeah, well... All right, son, whatever you say.
Look, I'll go and get Rach, then we can go in a car, OK?
Yeah, fine. That's a good idea.
Bye, Dad.
You reckon Amos meant it, then? I thought he was just going on the other night.
No, we were going off to look at the cottage.
Oh, well.
I reckon they've had an argument, him and Henry, because Henry's been behaving very oddly and he's had a funny look in his eye.
They really are selling up? Selling the pub?
Amos is, as far as I can gather, because that's what Henry was saying. But do you know what I reckon?
I can't begin to imagine, Zach.
I reckon, and I've always reckoned this, they had an agreement to leave their half of the money to each other in their wills.
What on earth should you think that?
Me and Bill Whiteley have always thought that. But I bet Amos has changed his mind since he had that stroke. He's decided he wants to keep his brass to buy that little cottage with. It's either that or he's changed his will and he's going to leave it to one of them weird relatives he's got in Bridlington.
You and Bill Whiteley must have very boring lives. I mean, fancy dreaming up a theory like that.
I reckon that'd be a disaster, though, don't you? If we just got rid of Amos and a younger version popped up from Bridlington.
Tell you what would be more of a disaster if they really are selling up. If some big brewery bought the place, I mean, it would never be the same again. That would be a disaster for the village.
As if he'd totally forgotten what happened last year, when I was trying to find a little place by myself. But I stayed there with him because he wanted me to. I'm not saying it was an entirely selfless decision, because it wasn't. I've often thought how glad I am that I never left. I've been lost without that pub. The folk and him. Daft old beggar. But it was largely because of him. He just didn't want me to leave. Now this.
Sounds to me as though he's not thought it through. Not seriously. Strikes me he's just playing at looking for cottages. People do, you know, when they're bored.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Originally. But the longer it goes on, the more genuinely I feel he is serious about it. I feel right let down, honey. I've looked after him. I've nursed him, fed him when he couldn't use his hand properly. And we've been together all this time, and now he just wants to up and leave.
Well, you'll just have to sit him down and talk to him, like you've talked to me, won't you?
I can't. You see, I feel as if I'm being selfish. I mean, why shouldn't he buy himself a nice little cottage so he doesn't have to worry about running the wool pack anymore? Never be as strong as he was. I don't want to persuade him to do something he didn't want to do. It's just, I'm upset. Yes, I'm upset that he doesn't appear to have thought about me at all. Oh. Sorry, honey. I'm sorry to burden you with all this.
It's all right, Henry. That's what friends are for.
Friends.
Dad? Dad?
Where is he?
I don't know.
I'll try upstairs. Dad? Dad? He's definitely not upstairs, Mark.
I'd better be off.
You sure you don't want me to keep any supper for you?
No, I'll be fine.
I'll see you later then.
Look, don't wait up if you're tired. You look shattered as well.
It's all right. I'll wait up.
You don't have to. Think about what I said. Archie.
There's no need. He's not the man for us.
Well, not permanently, but it could help us out. If he just does the maintenance work, it would leave us free to get on with the farming.
Well, what you say makes sense, but Archie Brooks.
Oh, he's not that bad. Give him a chance.
I'll think about it.
Just think. If he does help us, you won't be so tired. And you might even be awake when I get back at night.
Quite a coup, I thought. Not only did I land myself a new client, which earned me infinite brownie points with Bennett, but I might have got you a job as well.
How come?
Well, Sarah was telling me how short-staffed they are at Emmerdale, so I mentioned your name.
What did she say?
She said she's got to speak to Jack first, see what he says.
Kathy, I've got a job for Emmerdale.
Hang on, don't get excited. You've got to wait.
Hey, isn't that...
Your record.
How? When?
You don't really think all that gear was just any old sound system, did you?
Christopher Tate, why didn't you tell me?
Because I wanted to surprise you. And before you say anything, I didn't spend a fortune. It was a favour. Steve and I were at school together.
It's terrific. You sound great, Kathy.
Doesn't she? And this one's for you. Chris, could I have one? Yeah, I'm sure I can get some more run off the press.
You could sell them over the bar if Amos had let you.
Oh, don't be daft. Who'd buy them?
Everybody. Proceeds to the church fund. How about that?
Well, I happen it's for the best.
Yeah, I suppose so. This is all over and done with now, isn't it?
For the time being.
Here we go.
Cheers, love.
You know, I just can't get used to Mum being so far away on her own. I'm stuck here.
Well, you're both doing marvellously. You're coping right well, considering.
Joe, I'm really sorry that we didn't tell you about Dad. It's not that we don't trust you, because we do. You've been smashing to us.
Look, we'll pull through. This time next year, it'll all be over and done with. Your ma will be home and the whole damn business will be forgotten. We've just got to stick together, OK?
Lovely little back garden, just right size and all. And a beautiful bathroom suite. I couldn't have picked better if I'd been choosing. Marble effect seat, very tasteful.
Oh, a retirement cottage, eh? Sounds as if you are serious. What are you doing, Henry?
Oh, Mr. Wilkes will be stopping on here.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'd hate to think of the wool pack falling into the hands of strangers.
Now this book centre at village.
Woolpack will be in safe hands of Mr. Wilkes.
Well, it's not as simple as that. I may not stay on here if Amos retires.
Well, of course you will, Mr.
What do you
Wilkes.
mean, of course? There's no of course about it. Since you refused to discuss the matter properly.
Well, I'd assumed that
Exactly. You'd assumed. You thought you could just up and leave and I'd stay here and pick up the pieces. Well, frankly, I don't want to do that. If you go, then maybe I'll go and all.
Mr. Wilkes, you can't retire. What would happen to Woolpack?